Hello, everyone. Welcome to the book review, Letting Go Pathway to Surrender. Today, we are talking about the topic anger. It is chapter 8 of the book. And I love this image. It is from Inside Out movie. If you guys haven't watched in the Disney Pixar Inside Out movie, I strongly recommend to watch it. Each character is an emotion and they show the emotional journey of those characters. It's really, really nice. Inside Out 2 is coming up soon. So it would be nice to watch Inside Out 1 before you watch the Inside Out 2, I guess. I don't know if I think they're independent by itself, but it will give you some kind of context. So what is anger, right? We all learned growing up. Tana kopame tana శత్రువు, తన శాంతమే తనకు రక్ష, దయ చుట్టంబవు, తన సంతోషమే స్వర్గము, తన దుఃఖమే నరకమండ్రు తథ్యము సుమతి. We, for non-Telugu speaking people, tana kopame tana శత్రువు. Our anger is our enemy. Tana dukkhame, tana kopame tana శత్రువు, tana శాంతమే తనకు రక్ష. Our శాంతం, right? Peace, being peaceful is what protects us, right? So our anger is our enemy. It's usually the whole concept of spirituality or anywhere, any religion, whatever book you read. What they say is everything is within us. Everything is within us. There is nothing external that is bothering us, that is stopping us, that is causing problems to us, nothing external. Everything is internal. If everything is internal, our enemies are internal. The bad situations are internal. Everything is coming from stemming up within us, right? So anger is our biggest enemy, right? Why? So let's understand anger and how to come out of it, right? Rage to mild resentment, right? So anger could be like range, right? It's a huge range. We could have immense rage towards somebody or something, or we can have mild resentment. Like, I don't appreciate this. I'm angry about this. You know how some people say that I don't appreciate this. You see that they are so calm. It doesn't even feel like they're really angry about anything. Okay. So that's, I really like it when people, speak it like that, very calm and poised and still say, I'm really angry about this. So it could be anything. Range could be so like from everything.
Madam.
Abusiveness.
Madam.
Salma, I'm going to answer
Sorry.
you at the end.
తెలుగులో చెప్పండి మేడం, ఇంగ్లీష్ కొద్దిగా అర్థం కాదు.
నేను నాకు ఆడియన్స్ చాలా మంది ఉన్నారండి, సో నేను ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడతాను. I cannot give the talk in Telugu. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll answer any questions you have. I can answer in the QA session later on. Okay. Thank you. So anger means it could be any of these words, right? Any of these words is anger. It's agitation, it's explosive behavior, it's aggression, it's impatience, it's like, frustration, negativity, anything, all these things, stubbornness, jealousy, contempt, all these things fall under anger because they somehow either stem from anger or they relate to anger, right? So we can also have anger on the letting go technique itself. Like if somebody says, let it go, right? Why should I let it go? Why should I let it go? This is bothering me so much. This is huge. A lot of stake is here. Why should I let it go? You can be angry at the letting go technique itself, right? Anger that one is expected to let go of feelings that in the past have been valued. If, let's say, my anger was valued in the past for some reason, right? Because my mom gets angry, I get things done. Let's say my kids were that way. Now they don't appreciate it. So you can be like, how come? It really worked before. Why is it not working now, right? And anger at the fear of loss. Actually, if you see grief, right, the different stages of grief, there is anger is one of them. If somebody is not feeling well, or if you are scared that you lose your job, fear of loss of anything can lead to anger also, right? And in anger of feelings in general, like, why do I feel this way? Why am I always like this? Why am I always passive? You can feel angry that you're a passive person. You can feel angry that you're like, whatever feelings you are having, you can be really angry about those feelings as well. if you get frustrated about things, you can get angry that why do I get frustrated about things? You can have anger at anger itself. Why am I getting angry all the time? Why am I not able to control it, right? And you can anger can also come from a feeling that it does not relinquish immediately. Like, I'm doing all these practices, I'm doing meditation, I'm following this letting go book process, I'm following so many other processes, but I'm not able to let go of it. And you can get angry at that also. So there is like really zillion different ways of getting anger at anything and everything, right? So energy levels, right? What happens to, like, let's talk about energy levels. We always, with every emotion, we talk about the map of consciousness coined by Dr. David Hawkins, and we see how the energy levels go up, right? Apathy and grief, we talked about it. It's of the lowest energy level. Then comes anger. It is good to have anger than be in grief or apathy. Apathy means hopelessness. I cannot do anything state. Pride. From anger, pride is at a better energy level, and then courage, right? We always look at where we stand, right? With anger, it is better to have anger than fear. It is better to have anger than desire. It is better to have anger than apathy and grief, right? Now, there is a lot of energy in anger. That's why when you're really angry, if you go and hit something, or if you go and yell at somebody or something, it will create great loss. It's like a huge storm. The aftermath, the consequences of after the anger is gone, you have to do a lot of cleanup, right? Because it has a lot of energy. We may feel energized when we are irritated or angry. That's why, like, actually my son, he was very angry. Once I said something, he generally, like, doesn't speak back to myself. Like, he's respectful, he's obedient. He went and he punched on the wall. There is a big hole in the wall. It was there for 1 year in his room. We patched it recently, but there is so much energy. He couldn't handle it. He just let it go. He hit on the wall and it created a hole in the wall. So that much energy, just to explain how much energy, right? And also there is, in anger, there is energy of action. Any action you take, all that energy, it's better to take an action, they say, but not destructive, because that energy won't stay with you. It comes out of you. And imagine if my son did not hit that wall, all that anger, all that energy would have stayed within him. And anger, when it stays in our body, energy is energy, right? The power of energy is wherever you keep it, right? See, if you can focus the sun's light onto a magnifying glass and a piece of paper, it will burn the paper. And if you put the paper on a lot of dry grass, it will burn. It has a capacity to burn the entire mountain with dry grass, right? At the same time, you use solar panels, is doing the same thing, right? You're focusing all the energy on solar panels, it's converting into energy, which is used as electricity in the house to power up TVs and laptops and everything. So that is like the difference between destructive and constructive use of energies, right? So this anger is actually a good thing, because that is the one which gets things done in the world. It results in doingness in the world. When people channelize their anger in a positive, let's say I'm really mad at the current situation, all the things, actually, if you see all the rebels, right? All the rebels and all the things that happened, they happened because of people were angry about something. I don't want to let this happen. I don't want to let this atrocity happen, this bad thing happen. So they conducted rallies, rebels, and everything. And that resulted in positive actions too, right? And when the have-nots of the world become energized by desire, like, I don't want this to happen. So what do I want to happen? I want a change. I want a change in this rule. I want a change in this behavior, right? Then they move up to anger over what they lack. I don't have this. I want this. So I will show you my anger in this way, right? I'm going to show you what I can do. I'm going to prove my point. I'm going to do something to prove my point, right? That anger moves them into action. So lot of places, if used constructively or destructively, if anger channelized becomes a constructive action or a destructive action. Now, it could be used to fulfill our dreams for a better life. Let's say I came from a very, very poor situation. I know so many people who have, like, said that I hate this poverty. I'm so angry at it. I'm so angry how my parents cannot even afford meals for a day. So out of anger. They studied with passion out of anger, not because of, that anger propelled them to study well, to earn money. I want to earn so much money that I want to feed all the people. I want to feed all the poor people so that nobody is in poverty, at least in my area, in the slum I grew up in. All these things, we have seen so many underdog stories where people came out of rage, out of anger, and they did amazing things. So what is suppressed anger? Suppressed anger is, I know I'm angry at you, but I'm suppressing it consciously because I know the consequences will not be good. So I don't want to get into an argument with you. So I will keep it to myself. I will not express it out. First thing. The other thing that is you don't want to conflict. You don't want a conflict. You don't want to get into something. And second thing is, I could be so guilty. Why am I getting angry? I should not be getting angry. Out of guilt, you also don't express it. Okay? And the other thing is, when we have anger, we have so much guilt about it that we want about something that we did. Okay. Let's say I got a plate. I got a plate. And I usually, let's say my husband does the dishes. I don't know if how this example sits, but my husband does the dishes at home. Now that my older son has come home, he has delegated that to him. He said, you have to do the dishes. You should not let Amma or Amma do the dishes. Okay. So that's the arrangement right now in the house. Yesterday night, we played a game until 12 o'clock. I told my son, you have to do the dishes. He's like, after we played the game, he sat with his laptop. I'm like, Pranav, it is 12 o'clock. You have to do the dishes. He said, Amma, don't worry, I'll do it. Don't worry, I'll do it. I woke up in the morning, and first thing in the morning, I give this talk. My mom wakes up at around 8:30 or something. Wakes up in the sense she wakes up, but she comes to the kitchen at 8:30. And when she comes and she sees sink full of dishes, and she won't have dishes to do the breakfast and everything, right? So I went in the morning, I wanted to get some tea, and I saw the dishes were not done. Now, I'm obviously mad at him. It's because he gave this gyan, right? Don't worry, I'll do it kind of assurance, and he did not do it. This happened 2 days ago, and he actually did it at night, I think 2 o'clock or something, he did the dishes. So next day morning, he said, I expected that he will not do it. I went down and I saw, and he did it to my pleasant surprise. So now he did not do it. Now I'm mad at him immediately in that moment, right? I was like really mad at him. He did not do it. Now I have to give this talk. By the time I go down, my mom will have to do the dishes. I don't want her to do the dishes. So I'm mad at him because of the consequence of it. But at the end of it, I'm guilty. At the end of the day, I'm responsible, right? At the end of the day, I am guilty that I did not do dishes. It doesn't matter whether it's my husband or I take the responsibility. If nobody does it, I have to do it. I'm the default option. If it doesn't get done, I take responsibility. I have guilt. But because of this immense guilt, I am seeing how to blame my son for this. Why should I blame him? There are days you don't feel like doing things, right? My husband doesn't do dishes. Sometimes he's like, I didn't feel like doing it. I didn't do it. He'll wake up in the morning, do it, and go back to sleep. Or I will do it. So it's just human to not, he's also like us. So why should, when we are angry, right? When we are feeling guilty about something that happened, we try to put the wrong thing on somebody else because we don't want to take the responsibility, right? And we want to justify our anger. I'm angry because in a moment, I actually thought I'll go and wake him up and say, go do dishes and then go back to sleep. This is a consequence for you. But why should I ruin my mind just before the talk, doing all this drama, right? You can quickly come out of it. That's the concept is you will feel all the emotions. You are human at the end of the day. You will feel all the emotions. How quickly you can get out of it with the techniques you learned, right? That is what matters. So you want to justify something wrong happens. You want to justify why this happened. Now I have to tell my mom that, you know what, Pranav was supposed to do it. He didn't do it. My mom, she won't listen to any bakwas of this. She'll say, you know what? Actually, I don't know if you guys watched that. Indra Nui, the ex-CEO of PepsiCo and Cola and everything. She became the president of PepsiCo. She was so happy. She came home. She drove into the house. She parked her car in the garage. Next to her husband's car was already there. He comes home by 8. She came home by 10:30 or something. She wanted to share her news with her mom. came, she put the car in the garage, and her mom opened the garage door. She saw her mom. She wanted to say, Amma, I got selected as president for the company today. Huge achievement, right? So she was about to say that, and her mom opened the door and she said, there is no milk in the house. Go and get milk. At 10:30 at night. She looked at the car next to her and she knows that her husband comes home at 8. She's like, didn't he come home? She said, yes. Where is he? He's resting, watching TV. Then why didn't you tell him that to go and get the milk at 8 o'clock? She said that I forgot. And she also had help in the house. She said, why didn't you ask the help? We have help in the house. Why didn't you ask them to get it? I forgot and now they all left. So she went. She was very angry. She went, she got the milk. The moment she came into the house, she stopped the gallon on the counter and she said, you know what? I got selected as president of the company today. I was so happy. I wanted to share with you. And you did this to me. And you know what her mom said? Whatever, you're president, your work, leave your work and leave your crown in the garage and come home. When you come home, you're a wife, you're a mom, you're a daughter-in-law. That comes first. Nobody can fill the role of yours, that role here. So when you come here, put your work in the garage and come, leave it in the garage and come. I told this story. My mom always says that. My mom always says that you be a manager at your work, not here. You be a mom here, you be a wife here, you know. So I told this story to my mom. She was so happy. So I think when we take the responsibility, right, we have different roles. When we take the responsibility of who we are, what it comes with, this role comes with a certain responsibility, irrespective of the baggage you have, irrespective of what all I am. I could be this, I could be this. Yes, I chose this, right? I chose to give a talk today. I cannot cancel it. I have a responsibility. I cannot cancel it in the last minute because my dishes were not done. So I will finish this and then go and do it. Yes, my mom will get upset. So I have to take it, right? Now I'll be angry at my mom also when she's getting upset with me. Like, oh my God, once in a while it happens. It's okay. How do we do that? How do we process that anger, right? How do we process that anger? That is what we are going to learn today. So few can take responsibility for their own anger and just say, I'm angry because I'm full of angriness. It's okay. And I'm not saying that I should not be angry at my mom. My mom is justified to be angry because my mom wants to do breakfast and coffee and everything, and all the mugs are in the sink. So her anger is justified. My anger is also justified because I'm getting pissed off. It is okay to say that it is okay to be angry in that moment, but let it go quickly. Don't hold on to it and mull over it and say, she always does it or he all. The moment you start digging past, become an archaeologist, right? That's when bad things happen. You just feel the moment, feel it, let it go, right? That's what I think. That's a healthy way of doing things. Using anger positively. And there is something called repressed anger also. So if you see the picture, right? Suppression is we are purposefully trying to forget or not think about painful or unwanted thoughts because we know that in this moment, it is not a right thing to be or not a right thing to do. But repression means you don't want it to, you have suppressed. If you suppress emotions continuously for a long period of time, it becomes a habit. You're not even consciously doing it. You're unconsciously doing it and it gets repressed. It stays trapped in your body. You're not even aware of what is causing all this, and you're unconsciously pushing it out of your awareness. You're not even realizing what you're doing. That is bad. Repression is dangerous. Suppression is at least you're consciously knowing it, right? Then you can do something about it. So how do we use anger positively, right? So it is common for people to repress their anger, aggression, and inner hostility. They view it as a lot of people, even our parents, right? No, don't be angry. It is not good for you to be angry. What is the point of getting angry? Everywhere, our custom, everybody says, be peaceful. But being peaceful does not mean getting to a peaceful mind is a process, is a journey. It does not mean suppressing emotions. It does not mean suppressing frustration. It does not mean suppressing anger. It does not mean suppressing jealousy or any of this pride, ego. It does not mean suppressing it. It means you have to process it. You have to process it, understand why am I having this, and work on the root cause so that you will not have that multiple times over and over, and you can slowly understand how to get rid of it faster when it happens to you, right? That's when you can come into peace of mind quickly than taking a long time to come. right? It does not mean suppressing anything. It does not mean repressing anything, right? And repressed anger is also at the end of the day, anger is anger. It has a lot of energy. When you're repressing, it stays within your body. It is going to impact your organs. You are going to get diseases because all that energy is eating up your body, right? Eating up your organs. That imagine if when you're angry, if you can kick something and it can that much anger that it can make a hole in the wall. If you suppress that energy, where does it go? What does it do? What potential it has that it can do to your body, right? So you have to think about all those things. It's not good to make your body suffer so much. So if you don't acknowledge and work through it, right, it will have very bad consequences to your health and overall progress. Now, the intention behind anger is negative, and it will have similar consequences even if it is not expressed. At the end of the day, why are we getting angry? The intention is always negative behind that anger, right? Somebody did this something to me. I'm mad at you because of this. Or you feel that bad things happen to you. You are in a negative state of mind. When you are in a negative state of mind, the energy will also cause destructive things. If you don't process it in a healthy way, it is going to cause destruction, either externally expressed or internally too. It is better to express it externally because you're seeing the damage. You don't know what you're doing to your body, right? So he gives an example of it at work, right? Let's say you're angry at your boss. You feel resentful. You don't like him or her. And why? Because they're not acknowledging your efforts. You're doing all this hard work. They're not appreciating what you're doing, right? And then, but you know that it's unwise to express the anger. You lose your job, right? You can lose your job, or you can get consequences. You can get more work because they can put more work on you, or they cannot give you promotion. They will not do all these things. So you know all those consequences. So what you do is you suppress your anger. When you suppress your anger, you're continuously gaining more and more resentment towards your boss. You start hating them more and more. Every time you see them, you hate them. Every time you see an email, you sit in a call with them, you're building it up, right? And you know that if I express this anger in any way, it would result in a tacky situation, right? So that's what we do. What is because of this? It is like, creating and piling up, and we just create so much hatred about it. When we don't process that right and then and there and drop it, right? You don't pile on, then you can handle each situation in itself, and maybe you can have the awareness that only for the situation. What is the situation worth? In this moment, I prepared all the slides and he took my slides and he said that he did it. I'm angry about it. If you just process that and let it go, it won't, next time he does something, like he always does this, and you constantly keep counting. I do that all the time. At work, I get so frustrated with people. I keep saying, he always did this or he used to do this. But I learned to not take things in one thing at a time. I resolved so many frustrations of mine. There is still one very tacky situation. And you can see in your talk itself, like, when you're coming and venting out, right? You will say, and actually the best thing is I went out to my husband a lot about my work. He has never met any of my colleagues. I work from home. I've been working from home for 13 years. He never met anybody in person. He does not know anything about them other than what I am telling him. So this is my point of view. When I hear him say that, you have to do this, you have to put them in place and everything, right? Very aggressively, I'm like, I don't think it is needed. So much is needed. But why is he telling me all those things? Based on what I told him, based on my viewpoint. Then whenever I hear his advice, I'm like, oh my God, did I create so much? Like, really? I don't think this deserves so much. That means how much would I have built it up, right? And every time I'm telling that there is a problem, I'm also reiterating old ones. If I don't reiterate, right, he'll say, she did the same thing that time also, right? I'm like, yeah, but I think these are not, I know in my head that I realize in that moment, I realize what I'm doing or what I did. So don't pile it on. Whenever something comes, process it, finish it, do it. That way, you have not made it into such a difficult, complex ball that you cannot, even if you want to, you cannot untangle it, right? So instead, view the energy of anger positively, right? Inspiration for us, what you can do is, maybe I can create a project, I can automate something which is not assigned to me. Let's say my boss keeps saying that maybe you're not smart enough to do this, or that person is smart, whatever, right? Why don't you automate something, do something at work which is not assigned to you, put all your energy into it. That is constructive way of channeling your energy. Prove a point that, see, I can do this. There are hackathons, there are these things at work. Participate in a hackathon and show what you're capable of, right? So do that. That is channeling your energy positively, at the same time proving a point to your boss, right? And this energy can help you move up or out of a situation. If you're so sad and miserable, get out of the situation, prepare for interviews, find a job elsewhere, get out. Why stay in that situation for so long if it is bothering you so much, right? And utilize energy to create new job opportunities to benefit your own personal goals. Maybe that will help you, will get you a better salary, better position, better workplace somewhere else, right? That is how you can positively change the anger to help you in this situation at work. Let's take relationships example, wife and husband, right? I'm pretty sure if somebody cannot relate to a bad boss, relationships, I'm pretty sure everybody can, relate to this. So what we can do is, anger can be utilized to inspire us to improve our communication skills. Take a course on interpersonal relationships. Instead of sitting there and getting angry day in and day out for different situations, how can you positively use it, right? You can enroll in self-improvement program. You can do it can be all this energy can be utilized in rededication. You put forth greater clarity of effort. Like, what can I do? Because all this happens only when you take responsibility. Stop blaming others, take responsibility. What is it that I can do in this situation? It is never about how can I change the other person. It is about how can I change myself so that I don't feel this way, right? In the situation of a job, get a better job, right? And in the case of relationships, let's say in relationships, the husband says that you're not working. If you work, you will know what I'm feeling like. Then get some skill set and go and work, get a job, right? Look within ourselves, right? Let go of all the negative feelings via acceptance. Accept the anger instead of being mad about it. Oftentimes, the biggest problem with anger is you get mad at the person, at the situation, or at yourself for being mad. Instead of that, if you accepted that, I get angry at things. I'm a very clean person. I get mad when things are not clean. I get mad when I accept it. When you accept it, now what can I do about it? Things are not getting done this way. So what can I do? Nobody is cleaning up in the house. So let me hire help. Let me hire a maid. The moment you accept it, you will start seeing opportunities on what can you do to fix the situation, right? Self-sacrifice. So this is my favorite topic, especially women. They always feel that they are sacrificing. Moms, biggest gold star for moms. When family is sitting for a dinner, you want to give the good things to everybody. Oh, this is burnt roti, let me eat it. My mom actually does that. This dosa did not come in a good way. You eat that. For kids and Rajesh, give this. I make such a big deal about it. She'll be making dosa. I'll be eating it. If Rajesh comes, oh, Rajesh, this is hot. Just you take this one. I'm still waiting here. Of course, you'll get it too. It's the nature, it's the culture they are brought up in, where mom has to sacrifice, girl has to sacrifice. Compared to the boy child, girl, I don't think it's there now anymore anywhere. But if you have parents with you or grandparents with you, I'm pretty sure you see that a lot. I don't understand that. I don't do self with kids and everything. I eat first. I get hungry first. Even when my kid was there, when let's say we go out, we hike a lot and come, right? First thing I come, before I cook, I eat cereal. I take milk, I eat cereal, or I eat a banana, or I eat some sandwich or something, so that I don't have headaches. I'm not hungry. I'm not starving. I have some energy in my body. Then I will cook for the family. That way I can do parallel processing also. I'll start the cooker, I'll do this, I'll do that while eating. And then when they come, I will buy some time. I don't ask them first, come on, you take this. There is only one banana left, you eat it. I somehow don't have that sacrifice in me, because if I don't have energy, I will start yelling at everybody. It will become so chaotic. All the fun we had going out, that's ruined if I am not in a sane mind. I am a little less on that self-sacrifice thing. I still do, but not to that extent as my mom. Like my mom says that, oh my God, you're so selfish. But our parents, now mom is mostly for that food and arrangements kind of thing. Dad is like, what can I sacrifice so that I can take care of my wife and family, right? All that. So when our relationships with others are associated with our smaller self, right, then what we do is we don't see ourselves as an entity worthy enough to give whatever is needed. Instead, we'll say, I will sacrifice. Why? We want to feel better. Look at this, okay? People who are sacrificing, they are not doing out of, oh, she's so selfless, she's always sacrificing, she always thinks about others. People who sacrifice a lot, they have a lot of expectations too, which they don't tell. Like, I sacrificed my whole life for you, I compromised all these things for you, what did you do in return? They get disappointed as well when their kids grow up and don't take care of them, right? And even society says, oh my God, she sacrificed all her life, and look at it, her son is not taking care of her daughter is not taking care of her. Society does that. You did your job, you did what felt good for you. In the sense that, again, that's, I literally called my mom selfish once, because she always says, this makes me happy, if you eat it, it's okay if I starve. But no, Amma, that is, let me have the satisfaction that I sacrifice for you as well. I say that you are selfish because you want to have that happiness, you want to have that satisfaction, you're robbing me of that satisfaction. She got so mad when I said that. She got, seriously, you are calling me selfish? But don't you think so? Because see, any action we do, at the end of the day, we have a payoff. Something is pro and cons. If you draw pros and cons, something is beneficial for me. It's giving me joy. If it gives me joy to starve and make sure everybody ate and everybody is like, we are happy, we are content, you're seeing the look on your content face, it makes me happy. It is making me happy. That happiness I am weighing more than my starvation, than my nutrition, than my self-need, than my pain. If I make you sit my kid on my lap, even though my legs are hurting, the sense of that, joy of helping that kid out is more than the pain I'm sustaining. But at the end of the day, you are sustaining pain. You are putting, let's say, a heavy kid on a leg which is actually hurting. You are doing more damage to it. You're not realizing what your sacrifice is doing. Because for you, you weight the joy or the sacrifice, the happiness that comes out of the sacrifice more than your pain. That means you are not giving credit to yourself. You are seeing yourself as a smaller self compared to what you want to do. Because of that, you are sacrificing. When you give value to yourself, when you give value to your needs, you don't do that. It might sound selfish, but that's okay, right? Later, when you do this, what happens is later you're setting up for anger. That kid or that your kids or your husband or your parents or somebody, if they don't return the favor, if they don't show the gratitude or humility or anything for all the things you did, then you are so upset at them. Again, you won't show the upset, but you will feel, you know what? It has to, that disappointment. It had to happen like this. I was so stupid. I sacrificed everything. This is all so much melodrama, right? I'm pretty sure every family has this. You have at least one family member like this. All the melodrama. I did so much. It had to happen. I was so stupid. I was so naive. Why all the drama? Most likely that other person did not even know that you were sacrificing. You want to keep everything under the wraps. You don't want to tell. If there is only 2 ladles of food, you don't even want to tell there is 2 ladles. You gave it away. According to you, you did a huge sacrifice. That person doesn't even know that there is only 2 ladles of food. They're like, okay, you always eat after us. I think you will eat, right? I never ask my mom, did you eat? Because she eats. If she does not eat, I don't know why she's not eating. Sometimes she might not eat because her stomach is upset, or she might eat less because her stomach is upset, or she might eat less because there is not enough food for all of us. How do I gauge all that? Of course, ideally a daughter should know. But the thing is, don't do that. For you, I'm telling for a person who does that, right? Don't do that. Because later on, See, the other person is usually unaware of your sacrifice, maybe, and they are unlikely to fulfill your expectations because they don't even know what your expectation is, right? And all this suppression, sacrifice can lead to anger too. And that can lead to suppress, consciously you might suppress anger, and later on you'll start repressing your anger and you say, I never thought about myself. I sacrificed my whole life for my kids. Okay. Is that, whose problem is that? First, accept the responsibility. Whose problem is that? You have repressed so much anger on your husband. Let's say you as a mom, working mom, took so much everything on yourself. You did everything. And you are like so upset at your husband. Did you even let him know that you're doing all these things? And anytime anybody voluntarily does something, that means they want to do it. If my husband does everything in the house, why, and I am getting so much free time, why would I go and change that, right? Isn't it nice? You cannot do everything voluntarily and say, I did all this for you. I did not take care of my health. I could have gone to the gym. Instead, I sat here and did dishes and cooked for you. I could have hired a maid like that other person, but I did not do. That is your problem. I don't know, what were you trying to save money, or were you trying to say that home cooked food, maa ka ghar ka khana and everything, that was important for you. That's why you did it, right? Then why are you blaming me if you're fat and you're not losing weight, right? Do you understand? So that resentment, that repression and everything. So it's not needed. So first, don't see yourself as a smaller self. You value yourself. You value yourself. You see that your needs are important and you have to take care of those needs. When that happens, you will not see the things as sacrifice. You will do what is the right thing to do at that moment. You will not see it as a sacrifice. You're consciously, voluntarily doing what you're doing, right? At that time, you will not have any fear, because, and actually some parents, they say that I'm doing all these things so that you will grow up and take care of me. I'm doing all these things for you now so that, and they tell the kids also, remember, when you grow up, you have to take care of me. Do you see I'm taking care of Amma, Nainamma, Tata? Like that, you also should take care of me. That is because you're scared that they won't take care of you. You're scared that you cannot take care of yourself, right? So that is one like self-sacrifice thing, right? So another source is of anger is pride and vanity, right? So our personal pride that feeds and propagates the anger, right? You're so prideful that you don't want to ask for help. I can do this by myself. Now take the example of the dishes. I can go and do the dishes because it is the right thing to do and it has to get done. Or I can be mad at my son and then my husband for delegating it to my son, both of them not doing it. I can be mad. While doing the dishes, I can cook up all that anger. Like, you know what? They always do this. I don't know why even I'm depending on them. It's one thing. Take it easy. Take a chill pill, right? Instead, but now you are feeling all this. From tomorrow, I can make a decision. From tomorrow, I won't even ask them for help. I will do it by myself. No, that is your pride. That is your pride and unnecessary vanity that, don't do that, because you'll be at loss. I will tell them you did not do it. They'll feel guilty, not guilty, it's up to them. But from tomorrow, please do it again. Don't do this. Or if you want, give a consequence. No TV or no do this, something do, but don't have that stupid pride and vanity. You will be at loss. You will unnecessarily take up so much on your plate because of that stupid pride and vanity. And because you take that, you will be like, you know what, every day I have to do dishes. Now you will, after some time, you will forget why you are doing dishes all the time. Rajesh used to do dishes before. I don't even know when I started doing this. Now I have to do it, and he stopped doing it. Why did he stop doing it? Because you had pride. Maybe let's say he'll come and say, Madhu, it's okay, I'll do it, right? No, you don't have to do it. You forgot about it. I think you'll forget every time. I don't want this drama in the house. I'll do it by myself. So he'll stop doing it. And every time I do dishes, I'm so upset because I could have used that time doing something else, right? So again, that will create anger. So there are a lot of sources of anger. How many different ways you can get angry, right? And one source of pride relates to self-sacrifice. Now, we'll take a traditional marriage example. The wife spends the day, let's say she's not working. She spends the day working hard at the house. She cooks, she cleans, she keeps our house very organized, and she's so happy. She made a very good meal. Let's say she's cooked the husband's favorite meal and everything. Let's say husband had a very hard day at work. there were layoffs or something, or he did not get the promotion he wanted. Somebody else who is not as qualified as him got the promotion. So he had a very bad day. He comes home, he doesn't even notice what she's doing. He doesn't acknowledge what she's doing. And she was expecting, let's say that, hey, today the house looks clean. Did you clean the whole thing? Or, oh, you made this special thing for me. It's so nice. Let's say he doesn't acknowledge. He sits at the dining table. He starts complaining about his work. You know what happened? Because he's worried that if he loses his job, the consequences that will happen, kids, school, money, finances, everything. So he's not even paying attention what she did, right? Now, both are thinking. So he's thinking while doing all these things that I'm feeling she's happily sitting at home. This is the big thing, right? Husbands, they don't acknowledge how much it takes to run a house, to do everything kind of stuff. So he's thinking she's sitting at home while I am, and she's very pleasant. She's like calm, and like at 6 o'clock in the evening, I came home from this traffic, from all this drama at work. I'm sacrificing this for the family. He'll be thinking of all the sacrifices that he's doing for the family, for wife and everybody, right? And she'll be thinking like, I am doing so much sacrifice. I have this degree. I could have gone and worked. Instead, I chose to stay home. I'm doing all these things. He didn't even pay attention. Of course, she will know that this is not the right time. This is not the right time to complain about, hey, you didn't even notice. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. You forgot about our marriage anniversary. You forgot about my birthday. Instead of telling, she knows consciously that it is not the right time to tell because he's worried about layoffs and everything. But at the same time, she's thinking of all the self-sacrifices she's doing and which is not getting appreciated. He's thinking of all the things that he's doing and he feels that, and wife, because she's thinking of all those things, she won't pay good attention and she won't, let's say, participate in giving him sympathy or something, empathy or sympathy or something, right? Then he'll be like, she doesn't even care. I am doing all these things and she could have done a job. She has a degree. She could do a job, but she's not doing a job. He'll be thinking of all that. So both are thinking opposing forces, tug of war, right? I am sacrificing, you are sacrificing kind of thing. But they are not looking at each other. They are not being compassionate with each other, right? So both have this feeling of, you are not acknowledging me, I am not acknowledging you kind of thing. And it becomes anger. It keeps mounting up. So what did they do? Afterwards, let's say in the evening, they just end up watching TV without talking to each other. Or these days, everybody has a device. So she goes into a different room, he goes into a different room. They watch whatever they want. And then they'll go to bed with very cold, detached thing with all the grievances, right? And then all these things, I shouldn't even done this. I don't even know why I'm not working. I could be, my friend, she's working and she's like VP of this company. I don't know what I'm doing these sacrifices for, to hear all his rants. And why is he complaining? He can find another job, whatever. And he's like, why is she not even acknowledging? Why am I doing all these sacrifices for her when she's not even acknowledging? What this leads to is it's in a decline in relationship, right? The relationship will keep going down and down if this repeats happening, if it is not taken care of right away. So emotional blackmail. In a marriage, both are looking at acknowledgement, right? I want you to acknowledge me for all the things that I'm doing. And obviously the other person is also looking for acknowledgement. They want it, they desire it, but block it to each other. I will not acknowledge you because you are not acknowledging me. You first acknowledge me, then I will acknowledge it. Right? That pride and ego and everything. Because we are blocking it, that resistance, right? That resistance pulls you apart. It pulls you down individually and pulls each other apart. And we both feel so much pressure, right? And it causes resistance. The resistance is because pressure is always felt by us as a denial of our choice. Because we feel that I am not choosing this. When the husband feels that I am working for my family, I'm working for my kids, he feels that I don't have a choice. If I cannot sit at home like her, I don't have a choice. So when you feel that you are not doing whatever you're doing out of your own choice, right? Then you feel really angry about it. Same thing, the wife, if she thinks that I sat at home because I have to take care of kids, because I have to cook home cooked meals, because of one of the kids is sick and I could not go to work because somebody has to make a choice to stay home, sacrifice. When you are feeling that you are sacrificing, then you are saying that I'm not doing this out of my choice, out of voluntarily my choice. I'm doing this because I have to do it. Somebody has to do it, right? When you stay in that place, then you feel resentment and you'll start emotionally blackmailing others. Whenever you say that, you're not seeing whatever I'm doing, this emotional blackmail is such a big drama in relationships. It is not worth it at all. It is not at all worth it. It literally says that consciously or unconsciously, right? The drama between wife and husband is, give me what I want or I will punish you with withdrawal, anger, pouting, sulking, and resentment. That is how we are going to treat them because we are not getting what we want. How is this self-sacrifice? How is this good? You are doing everything that you are supposed to do or you don't have a choice to do. Because of that, you're not talking to them, you're not being nice to them, you are withdrawing. You're ruining the relationship. You're actively participating in ruining the relationship, right? So what is the point? What is the point of it? Pride of self-sacrifice. When motivated by self-sacrifice, we are pressuring the other person. Let's say you don't have to do it, but every day meticulously you cook so much, every day you are making fresh meals. You can be a stay-at-home mom, but you could have trained your family that I'll cook once. There is fridge, there is microwave, we'll eat later. Or we can order food, or we can take out food, or we all can go to a restaurant, nice meal on a Friday or a weekend. You can create those things. But instead, you want to do everything in the house. You want to do all that. You're putting a lot of pressure on the other person because they feel obligated. They are burdened with your niceness. Don't burden other people with their niceness. Keep boundaries, right? And do it out of because you are enjoying it. Because if you're not enjoying it, that makes even more pressure because they're seeing that you have so much pain or you're not well and still you're doing all those things. You're like burdening them even more. Oh my God, she's so not well and still she's doing it, right? Don't do that. And even if we force an acknowledgement, it will be a disgruntled one. And you are like, I'm doing all these things. Today, you didn't say the food is good. Every day, if you don't say the food is good, she'll feel bad because she put so much her heart and soul into it, blood into it, right? So, and why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say this? Okay, oh my God, she wants, even if people do right really well, if it doesn't come from your heart, and if you're asking them to say it, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't come from dil se. So it won't have the same love and affection in that compliment as if it would come by yourself instead of others forcing you, right? A forced compliment does not satisfy. You're asking them, and if you ask them, is the food good today? Is the food good today? Yeah, it is good. You know what? You could have said that before I asked you. I hope everybody relates to these things. They're so common. But do you see how unconsciously we are like small tensions, very, very tiny tensions, but over time, they become very big, right? And we get out of the pride and self-sacrifice, we get built up anger, maybe in small doses, but it does. And it shows up in everywhere else, right? We have a secret vanity about what we are doing for others, and our pride of achievement makes us vulnerable to anger when our sacrifice is not recognized. We feel it's an achievement. We feel it is an achievement to self-sacrifice, to do something for others. But when it is not acknowledged, we get really, really mad. How to offset this anger? I love this picture. I'm giving away my pieces to make you complete. I have given myself away to make you complete. And I'm giving the last piece to make you complete. Is it my problem or your problem that you're accepting? I voluntarily am giving you. Can I complain that you are complete, but I am all like incomplete because I sacrificed everything to you? Or should I rejoice that I created a beautiful, complete person, right? I gave to the world a beautiful, complete person. This is a parent and this is a child. So look what the parent is doing. They're sacrificing themselves for their kids. But out of choice, the kid did not ask you to sacrifice. So don't put it on them. Don't do emotional blackmail. Don't make them feel guilty. Tomorrow, when they start working, they go somewhere else, they don't take care of you. Don't make them feel guilty because as babies, they did not ask you to do everything. You did it out of your choice. You shouldn't have done it. You should have let him figure out the pieces and build himself by himself or something. Or you could have built him partially and say, you know what, now I have given you legs, you do everything else by yourself. Right? There are so many different ways of doing this. There is no right or wrong way. But you blackmailing them, you feeling bad for your self-sacrifice and making them feel bad. Look at how empty I became because I sacrificed everything for you. Right? How to offset this anger? Acknowledge and relinquish the pride. Don't have the stupid pride. Let go of the pride first. Acknowledge that you are angry. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong in feeling angry for things. I did this meal for you. You're not acknowledging. I'm upset at you. Okay. Tomorrow I get upset at you again. Later, you have to learn a lesson, right? How many times do you want to be upset? I'm not going to make a good meal. I'll make I won't even put an effort. I'll make a very simple meal. If you don't say anything after eating that simple meal, I'm like, Sen, why am I spending 1 hour instead of half an hour? Either way, the expression is the same. You're so preoccupied in your thoughts that you're not paying attention to what you're eating. So I will do only half my job and I will use that energy somewhere else. Be smart, right? Surrender our desire for the pleasure of self-pity. Oh my God, self-pity. I did this. I sacrificed this. Self-pity is useless, totally useless. I get angry when people are self-pitying themselves. I really get angry. And view our efforts on behalf of others as a gift. What if my child has given me an opportunity to build him, to raise him this way? And when I am building him with good values, raising him with good values, in that process, maybe I sacrifice some of the things, but he goes and becomes successful and helps a lot of other people. I literally contributed to the future. I literally contributed to the making of something. Elon Musk's mom, she might have done supreme sacrifices for him to be that way. I don't know Elon Musk's mom. I'm just using that story. How many people, how much is he impacting the world? He changed the shape of the world. How environment, with his electric cars, with his solar panels and everything, how much impact is he doing? Right? Why don't you take pride in that? My sacrifice created that. Let's say, for example, he does not take care of his mom. Should he be self-pity, loathing? He's not sitting at home taking care of me. Instead, he's always busy at work. What is he doing with busy at work? He's changing the world, right? So it is your choice. Why don't you see it as whatever I did is using positively in somewhere else? Why don't you see that I have a gift? You gave me a gift to do this for you, which is in turn helping so many other people. Why don't you see it that way? When you see it that way, you won't feel so bad. Then you can experience the joy of being generous with others as it's our own reward. You don't need somebody else to give you a trophy, right? When you do it without any expectations, automatically you will get in return, you yourself have joy because you are doing it because it makes you happy, right? When things like this happen, your joy itself is your biggest reward. Everything else falls short. They can say, Amma, this is so nice. They can hug you and everything. Yes, I'm very happy. But I was already happy for the process itself was so happy for me to do this for you. So whether you acknowledge it or not is okay, right? So derive joy from yourself. Don't expect it from others. Then you will not be so angry, right? So I think this is the last thing I have.